Welcome to Larimar's channel, where we are exploring intuitive insights through tarot and beyond. Hosted by me, Ingrid. Let's dive in. Hi everyone, welcome back, and for new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. And for those of you that are watching the video but not subscribing, which apparently there's a lot, just based on the stats from the back end of all of this YouTube stuff, go ahead and subscribe. It's not going to hurt you. It's only going to help, and it's going to help me to just get this out there into the ethers of humanity. Anyway, let's get started. It's a new moon, and it's a new moon in Capricorn, or if you're a sidereal follower, it's actually in Sagittarius. We're going to talk about those two in a second. But every time it's a new moon, it's time for a new beginning, right? So new moons are always, they kind of always foretell good starts, right? And with each new moon, we set these intentions, and it's an invitation for us to let go of the past and plan for the upcoming month. For us, it's super special, right? Because the upcoming month is actually January 2025. And when I was doing my meditation, the word that I received was notice. Notice ourselves, notice others. Notice is a quality of, for me anyway, a quality of awakening. It's close to awareness, but awareness actually goes deeper into the subconscious of the intellect. Notice means just be present and take note, right? If we don't notice the positive and the negative in our surroundings, in our environments, we're not actually awakening. We're just merely activating these wounds of denial. And whenever we're dealing with the wounds of denial, we can't open our heart frequency to allow and be receptive to change. So I'm going to repeat that again. When we fail to notice both the positive and negative aspects of ourselves, of our relationship with others, of our environment, we are not awakening. We're just activating wounds of denial. So oftentimes, and I was told, sometimes I've gone through a lot of experiences where I'm in the spiritual community, and I'll put that in quotes for a second. And you often hear this narrative of like, oh, just be positive. Oh, just don't turn on the news. Oh, just ignore this bad thing that's going on over there. Just stay in your, flow. Well, when we do that and we deny the experiences of others that are less fortunate by us being witness to it, not for you to be wrapped in it, right? But to be witness to it. And when you are a witness and you notice, which is the word that came up in, I'm going to put my hands over here so that the video doesn't do that back and forth things. But when we take notice of other people's wounds, of other people's sufferings, of things that are going on in the world that's not in positive flow, according to our definition, right, of positive flow, then we deny the others the experience of having both our hearts open. Something that I do is that I do pay attention to the news. I do read it. I don't watch it. I don't even have a television set, actually, but I do read the news. And if there's something that's uncomfortable, I take the moment, I notice what's going on, and I stop and I pray. Sometimes I just send positive healing energies that way. And even interventions, right? Angelic interventions, divine interventions, etc. If you stay in your bubble and you don't notice what's going on and what is happening around us globally or even intimately in your relationships, you cannot stand in your truth. Because truth can't exist in a void of denial or denying the experiences that others are going through. So I'm not a big proponent of people staying in their little cubby holes or in their caves, as it were, and not coming out because they think they're too above the fray of the incredible nonsense that's going out in the world. Something that I'm going to share, and it's poignant to one of the archetypes that I'll reveal, is that nefarious energies, dark forces, if you will, those that are creating wars, they know the importance of notice, that word that came up for this new moon. They know the importance of social media. They know the importance of spreading the word, their negativity. There's a reason why the Nazis were big on propaganda. There's a reason why our current global corporate entities are taking over media outlets. There's a reason for that. And that reason is that the more people see their nonsense, the more it goes into the subconscious and creates the reality, which oftentimes is one of the excuses that people in the spiritual community use to not pay attention to what's going on, because they believe it feeds it. So my invitation is, look at it, and with your own spiritual power, your own energy force, similar to Reiki, blast love into that field. Blast it with love. Be aware and notice your power to change the world. Cannot happen when you're hiding from it. You must confront it. One time I was participating in a meditation group, fairly big, about 50, 60 people. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but I remember somebody saying to me, "You're like the disruptor of the spiritual community," because everybody was calm. And I'm like, you guys, well, number one, I see things, right? I see things that others don't see. But number two, I do like to blast through the BS. Ignoring what's going on in the world and claiming to be spiritual or claiming to be awakened is BS. If you're not part of the world and you're not aiming to change it with your own frequency, I'm not saying go out there and picket or go out there and do crazy stuff to stop what's going on in the world. Sometimes that's the actually counterintuitive. But if you can send Reiki energy to your friend and help them heal some physical wound, what makes you think you don't have that same kind of power to change the trajectory of the world? So, once again, I'm going to repeat it. The word that I got in my meditation for this new moon was notice. And it was very clear in the meditation that notice was part of the awakening process. All right? I thought that was really awesome and powerful. And sometimes I'm like, you know, I get these words in meditation, like, what's the word for the full moon or the new moon? And I really don't understand it until I press record. And that's the truth. I just put my little word in a little piece of paper next to me and let it flow. So that's what I got. That's the energy that I got. Notice is part of the awakening. Now, let's get down to it. So in tropical astrology, the new moon is in the sign of Capricorn. And I'm just going to, where's my little, I got all these new little props, people. So what's going on? Let's deal with the moon, right? So we are at this new moon stage right here in this field of darkness because the sun is not shining on the sphere of the moon's surface. So we are at this new moon. And the energies that I'm going to speak of today deals with from this new moon moving through to when we get to this full moon engagement next month, okay? But the important thing that I want to stress is when you get to this quarter moon, right, moving into the light, that's where you really want to activate your intentions. I've been taking it, like I shared before, very copious notes, and the intention doesn't really work here. It doesn't really feel like it's activating at this stage. It feels like if I pay attention, it will activate here with my, pay attention, right? When I notice, I will activate my intention here, and it seems to be most potent as that light really starts reflecting on the moon's surface, all right? So I wanted to share that, and I will keep the moon, the new moon image up here, and let's bring this down so we can talk a little bit about Capricorn. So Capricorn, isn't this cute? I love this card. Oh, I forgot to bring the box. I'll show you guys, or maybe I'll put a description of this card deck. It's actually pretty cool. So in tropical astrology, this new moon is in the sign of Capricorn, which is ruled by the planet Saturn, right? So the Capricornian energy tends to be very ambitious. It's a very ambitious energy. It's a hardworking energy. It's into preserving things. These are all qualities that are also found within this planetary engagement that rules Capricorn, which is Saturn. And Saturn is all about discipline and order and structure and stability, endurance and longevity, right? So that's the tropical astrology tells us our moon is here in this area. Vedic astrology, on the other hand, is telling us that the moon is here. This is sidereal astrology, right? And they're telling us that the new moon is in Sagittarius, which is ruled by this planet, Jupiter, right? So Jupiter's energy, and Sagittarius actually tends to be very philosophical, religious, very opinionated, and frank, right? And then Jupiter's energy by its side is this energy of the spiritual teacher, the spiritual guide, and even the energies of law and travels are also part of this. And aspects of fortune, wealth, and expansion are all part of the Sagittarius new moon. So as you know, I believe when it comes to matters of our emotions, and by the way, if you're new here, this is a tarot reading on the moon's zodiacal sign, your moon's zodiacal sign, because I believe that our emotions need to be regulated. They need to be engaged in a way that will usher in wellness, love, and the new humanity, the new human. What makes us quote unquote human, and you'll often hear these experiencers with aliens, right, saying like, oh, they don't have this emotional resonance. What makes humanity unique is our emotions. But for us to interface in this new world, the ascension world, the awakened world, we can't dwell in the space of emotions. So it's really important for us to regulate it. Also, emotions are what propels and manifests our reality in this 3D realm. So my belief system is that when we're dealing with the new moons or with the moon's energies, both the sidereal and the tropical astrology are applicable when it comes to our emotions, because we're traversing between these two energy streams. If you look at what's going on right now, Sagittarius has to do with travels. Capricorn, I'm sorry, I froze because I'm hearing a banging and I'm like, I hope the construction's not going to start because it's going to ruin the video. And Capricorn has to deal with stability and structures, right? So as an example, right now, going into this new moon, we're having plane crashes. We're having mechanical issues with planes. These are being used for travel purposes, right? And it's activating our emotional field in these areas. So that's one example of what I mean, like our emotions are fluctuating between these two energy systems, right? These two energy systems. So when Saturn and Jupiter actually connect, right? Oh, I keep revealing those cards. Maybe next time I'll just put them on the side. But when Jupiter and Saturn actually connect, it actually tends to be good because Jupiter represents wisdom and it represents inspirations, whereas Saturn represents making things happen. So it can be very powerful. And there's that banging. I'm sorry, guys, if you guys can hear it. So it's a very powerful combination, especially when Saturn points to areas that are not working, either personally or in society or global. And then the wisdom of Jupiter can direct us on how to transform things in order to make things better, because Jupiter represents prosperity, abundance, success, good fortune. So whatever changes are afoot globally, collectively, know that it will be for the growth and expansion of humanity. So these two work really well together because Saturn likes to fix things that's no longer serving us. And Jupiter likes to take the opportunity to fix this for the betterment of the whole, right? For the betterment of the whole. So as I just expressed, the focus of our astrological moon signs represents our emotions and how we perceive ourselves in the world. It can also reflect the mind and our sensitive natures and our ability to nurture ourselves and care for ourselves and others. So this particular reading is focused on those aspects of the self in order to regulate and ground our emotions, to refocus them and take control of the mind. And remember that we are loving beings, capable, in fact, entitled to live this human experience with love and joy. That said, you can use the readings. When I do the readings, you can use if you feel the sun sign story and the ascendant sign, you can use that to complete your story for what's happening for you from this new moon period until the full moon next month. Now, I think what's important for us to notice for this new moon is to notice where you are in the spectrum of emotions here, right? Are you leaning more towards what you can do for the world or for yourself? Or are you leaning more into the energies of what you possess as yours, right? Because that's a very Capricornian thing, what you possess as yours, and what you think is theirs. There's a little bit of a split with the Capricornian energies between what's theirs and what's mine, right? So see where you land emotionally this month and take notes. This is, our emotional waters swinging between both. There's no definitive area that I could say, this is how we're going to feel collectively, or this, I feel like it's that swing, that energy, right? So, write out, what are those emotions? What areas are being, in your life, are being triggered? With the Sagittarius Moon, some of the more challenging aspects may be that you feel detached from the past, and maybe even detached from your very emotions. This is an energy of self-preservation, right? Especially against vulnerable feelings. The more positive aspect of this is to recognize and acknowledge your own emotions and the emotions of others. So a Sagittarius Moon seeks space and freedom that can be emotionally spontaneous. And under this moon, we tend to want to just move on. With a Capricornian moon, it might feel to you to be more of carrying the world on your shoulders, right? This very heavy sense of doing what is right, Saturn, a very strong pull towards conforming and upholding the law. Saturn and Sagittarius when it comes to that, the emotional connection. Therefore, your emotions here can relate more to wanting to control things, wanting security, wanting stability, which can be at an all-time high with a Capricornian moon energy. So now let's chat a little bit about their, let me just move this up. And let's chat a little bit more about their tarot engagement. Just a little bit, because we're going to go into our readings. So, oops, my wand is going to fall. Put that here. And so with a Sagittarius Moon, which is a sidereal interpretation, we are at this temperance energy and the Wheel of Fortune. Temperance is a yes card, and it's about balance, peace, a time to heal wounds, compromise. The Wheel of Fortune is about good luck, destiny, soulmates, and it's a maybe card. When we're looking at the Capricorn Moon engagement, it can be about addiction, mental health, cheating, dependency, bondage, feeling powerless and hopeless. And then it's also here connected with the World card, which is about success, achievement, accomplishments, and travel. And what these cards have in common is that they are ruled by the planet that corresponds to Sagittarius, which is Jupiter, and Saturn, which is Capricorn, right? So these are the energies that we're dealing. This is a yes card, this is a maybe card, this is a no card, and this is a yes card, right? So if you're asking questions, yes or no answers, those are generally what it means. On the more challenging side, Temperance can be about imbalance. It can be about self-indulgence. It can be about excesses. It can be about lack of perspective. Versus the Wheel of Fortune, on its more challenging side, it can be about bad luck. It can be about upheavals and disorders. The more challenging side of, for me, of the devil archetype is really being unable to move, even though in Tarot, traditional Tarot, if it's challenging, it means it's upside down, right? It means release from bondage. For me, it means bondage. That is the most challenging side. For me, this card signifies freedom, but we have to be smart on how we want our freedom. And the World card is about lack of success, right? So the opposite of success and achievement is about stagnation, lack of achievement, lack of the ability to move forward, right? So those are our players. Let me just move things around, and I'm going to go back to shuffling these cards, meaning these cards, and see where you land based on your astrological moon sign. I personally look at both my, let me just clear this up here. I look at both my sidereal and my tropical moon signs when I'm replaying these cards. So what I'm going to do is, when I'm replaying the videos, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to shuffle these, and I'm going to pull one card for each sign, and also give you an impression of the emotions that may be triggered for you, or manifest for you, or activated for you based on your moon signs. And I am using the Arc-en-Ciel Tarot deck. Let me just put this down a little bit and move this over. And I'm also using, put this here. I'm also using this deck called Ephemerate. And this is an interesting deck. I just thought to do something completely new and different. And this is by True Black. For this particular new moon energy, because we're going into 2025, and I want to be able to, I don't know, give you something that's different for the new year. This deck is interesting because the major arcanas have a different flair to them. So I'm going to be using this as a combination of Tarot and Oracle, just so you know. All right. So the first moon in Aries. This particular period of time can activate the adventurous spirit in you, or the spirit of being driven, which is that Capricorn. Actually, let me put these, I don't know if you could see that there, which is that, you know, for you, this kind of energy gives you an adventurous spirit, and this kind of energy over here, the Capricorn, gives you the spirit of being driven, right? So those two energies are at play for you emotionally. Let's see what's going on. Peace of mind, right? So for you, already just coming into this energy, be calm, be in the space of being quiet. quiet so that you can listen to the guidance. This is the Two of Swords, by the way, which normally you would see the Two of Swords crossing. In my illustration, I am bringing in the quieting of the mind for the Aries Moon. And look at that, you get Temperance. Same thing. Allow other energies to take care of what needs to be taken care of for you. You don't need to be brainstorming 24 hours a day, Aries. You can relax a little bit. And now let's see what the card is for you here. And it is Voyager. In this deck, the Voyager is the Chariot energy. But for me, I feel like you are going on a journey. From now until that full moon, you are preparing yourself to go on a journey. Remember, Sagittarius is about journeys. Don't stress out about the details. Allow Temperance to moderate the emotional waters, but also your mind. Temperance is actually an air sign, so it's really engaging you to just be calm as you go on your journey, as you go on your voyage, as you focus on your destination. Just put these here on the side. The next one that we're doing is Taurus energy. With Taurus and Sagittarius moons, you might feel a little restless. But the Capricornian moon helps you steady that restlessness a little bit. Ooh, the Magician. The Wheel of Fortune. And the Three of Swords. So for me, I feel like it's time to make magic, but magic for me means forgetting, especially with this Three of Swords over here, forgetting the levels of manipulation. You can manipulate yourself sometimes, Taurus, into thinking that material possession is the end-all, be-all. You're focused on this engagement of the Wheel of Fortune, which is very Jupiterian, right? It's very Sagittarius in that way. But then we've got this energy of the Capricorn, the Swords energy, these energies that are telling you, and I'm sorry, some of these card decks can be a little bit gruesome, so we'll keep that there. But for me, whenever I see the Three of Swords, it is an opportunity for you to change your mind, to not be so fixated on literally your belief systems, and allow levels of fluidity, even with the Wheel of Fortune, to move this engagement of the mind, of always doing things rote, of always doing things in a very methodical way for a specific outcome. Release that, let it go, have a different kind of intention that you're willing to see things differently and engage life in a different way by changing the way that you think, allowing the energy of the three to manifest and pierce through your heart so that it can open wider to the possibilities of true prosperity and abundance. Next, we have Gemini. So Geminis, you might feel super curious with this Sagittarius moon, and with the Capricorn moon, you might be, feeling a little bit more reserved, right? So it's important to know that when I'm talking about these energies, that it's a band between those two. So you're going from being curious to being reserved with this energy. And there's my version of the Three of Swords, right? Profound thinking, thinking of different ways, thinking of solutions, thinking of resolutions also. And then you've got the Devil, right? Same kind of energy that the Taurus had here which is you have to unwind your thought systems. You have to unwind and free yourself from the constraints you've had of having things go a specific way. Profound thinking does not mean that you have to be not fluid in your thinking. To the contrary, it means that you are fluid. And then we've got the Two of Coins. And this is it. This is the solution. This is the balance, right? So we want to balance our emotional thoughts, free ourselves by balancing our body. So pay attention to your body, right? Your physical body is going to help you think differently. This is where sometimes yoga is excellent, because yoga helps you think differently with a different kind of focus. All right. So next we have, what was that? Gemini. We've got Cancer. So Cancer, a Sagittarius moon makes you feel free-spirited, versus a Cancer moon makes you feel very shelled, very guarded, right? So you're going from this energy of feeling free-spirited to feeling very guarded in this new moon energy. Nine of Wands, belief systems. There's a lot of stuff going on here with belief systems, which kind of makes sense for the new year, because we often want to do something and change something, which means that we are setting forth our intentions for the year, which means that we want to usually change an aspect of ourselves. So this is Nine of Wands, belief systems here being engaged. You've got the World, and you've got the Eight of Cups. Aren't these cards beautiful? I love their simplicity. Yeah, they're actually pretty complicated. So beautiful energy, 7, 8, right? And then you've got this World energy here. So there's something going on for you from this new moon period to the full moon, that you're focusing on your creativity. But sometimes we don't have faith. Have faith that the world is going to receive your gifts. And know that sometimes wealth means emotional abundance, emotional stability, emotional love. That is also wealth. So it's great to know that what's waiting for you is the world loving your creative endeavors. But have faith that it will give you prosperity and abundance, just not the way that you're thinking. Perhaps even more sacred and more spiritual. You've got Dolphin energy here. Next we have Leos. So Leos, you love both these energies of Sagittarius and Capricorn, because the Sagittarius energy makes you feel excitable, versus the Capricornian energy, Capricornian moons, makes the Leo moon feel very ambitious. Like, I've got goals, I need to meet them, and I'm going to be seen for them. So really fun energy for you. We've got the Queen of Cups, Temperance, notice the water, so very emotional for you. And we've got another set of water here, which is the Six of Cups. Wow. So for those of you with a Leo moon, you really are being invited to tap into your emotions. Allow it to be balanced by temperance, but know that your emotions actually are, quote unquote, controllable, in the sense that it's inner strength. It's a spiritual engagement. That's why I drew the horses. It's a spiritual engagement, inner strength. Allow the balance to happen, right? To manifest. And you're going to be feeling excited about this new moon's energy. You're going to feel a sense of nurturing, There's something here, even the way that she's holding the cup, there's something here of preserving some of the waters for herself, nurturing herself, which is the Six of Cups engagement here for you, Leo Moon babies. Really beautiful energy. Next, we have Virgo Moons. So the Virgo Moons feel very explorative and pragmatic during this time period. The explorative is the Sagittarius energies, and being very practical and pragmatic is that energy of the Capricorn. So let's see what this new moon reading has for you. Ace of Wands, which is creative spark. We've got the Devil energy. And we've got Dulces. This energy is sometimes deemed to be like a temperance energy. You can see there also is a cage. It can also, in this deck, be the Devil. So there's a new beginning here available for you, but you have to be creative in releasing yourself from past energies that are not serving you, that's preventing you from taking flight, right? So for you, really set the intentions of what can you do to stay pragmatic and explorative by releasing those things that do not serve you anymore. And it's a way of doing things that you've never done before in a very creative manner. And this, I'm speaking to those Virgo Moon babies. There's a lot of energy sort of coming through, right, with that Capricornian engagement. So I suspect that it's more influential during this new moon, this Capricorn Saturn energy. Libra, when you have this engagement, Libra moons with Jupiter and Saturn, you tend to want to be very, well, not tend to want to be very, but you become very optimistic. And you take your responsibility to be joyful very seriously with this new moon engagement. So let's see what your reading has in store for you. We've got the High Priestess. We've got that Devil energy coming through again. So that means collectively there's something going on, guys. And then we've got the Knight of Swords, right? So for you, there's new information, a new message that's coming through and wanting to be relayed to you, having to do with freedom, having to do with letting go of things that don't serve you anymore, having to be creative and possibly even secretive on how you're going to dislodge yourself from things that have kept you prisoner. So stay energetically engaged with the insightful, intuitive frequencies of the High Priestess and listen to the messages that are coming. So now we've got Sagittarius. Under your own moon, you tend to be very impulsive. And under the Capricorn moon, you tend to be very focused. And possibly even... sorry, I'm moving on to the impulsive part. I'm moving on to... not Sagittarius, sorry. Under this moon, Scorpio moons, sorry about that, tend to be very impulsive. And under the Capricorn moon, Scorpio moons tend to want to be controlling, possibly even manipulative. So this is the reading for Scorpio moons. Sorry about that. This is Three of Cups. So there's going to be an engagement here for you coming up where you are sharing your emotions with others in a very intimate manner. This is what I'm getting for Scorpio moon babies. the Wheel of Fortune, this feels very positive, right? This feels very engaging. This feels like very possibly even transformative when it comes to your prosperity and your outlook for the future. Oops, I knew I was pulling two cards there. And then we've got Counterpoint. Very interesting, because the Counterpoint card in this deck is about these, I almost want to say fork in the road. So whatever's going on here with this engagement with people where you're sharing your emotions and whatnot, it turns the wheel. It's actually very impactful for your path forward, because you are at this counterpoint and you're going to be making a decision on how you want to move forward in your life, which is a major thing here. And it is connected to emotional connections, emotional engagements. Now we're moving into Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, under your own moon, you just feel joyful. And under the Capricorn moon, you feel very focused. So like I mentioned before in the beginning, these two energies kind of get along. Let's see, stop. We've got the Eight of Wands together with that Wheel of Fortune. Very good. That's your own card. And the Queen of Wands. Wow. So Sagittarius, whatever you're doing, whatever you're working, whatever you want to manifest, whatever you're intending, you're really stepping into your own. And it does feel sacred. It does feel spiritual, which you're very much into. And this sacred spirituality brings you levels of joy that the Wheel of Fortune is actually ushering into you and into your life. Nice. Capricorn, you are next. So Capricorn, under a Sagittarius moon, you tend to be spontaneous, and under your own moon, you just tend to be really serious. A very, very serious engagement for those Capricorn babies. So again, that's your emotions are fluctuating between the spontaneous energy and a very serious, grounded, get down to work energy. Ace of Cups. Wheel of Fortune, very nice. And what number is this? 7 of Cups. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful, that card deck? I just love this. Again, simple but not. A lot of codes there. So for you, you're actually engaging in a new emotional relationship, and that emotional relationship is with yourself. There's self-care that needs to be done here for this new moon engagement. You are thinking about changing your fortunes, changing your wheel of luck, doing things differently. Just don't lose faith. This is a very fluid energy, something you're not used to. You like, if it's going to be positive, you want it to be eternally positive. You don't like it when this wheel starts turning. My guidance to you is, so long as you continue to care for yourself and not lose faith in your emotional connection to the divine, this wheel will always land in its positive rotation for you. Capricorn babies. Next we have Aquarius. And Aquarius, you know, with the Sagittarius, you like the Sagittarius energies. You love Jupiter. You feel very energetic. You feel very expansive. You feel energized in this engagement with the Sagittarius moon frequencies, right? And then it's swinging back and forth between this very reserved energy that you get under a Capricorn moon. You look at that. You get Wheel of Fortune, which is your destiny. So something's happening with this new moon for Aquarius babies that are activating your destiny points. Look at that. The World, right? Can't go wrong here. You really can't. And burn. So this is, in this card deck, burn is actually the devil archetype, but it's also for me fire energy, right? So for me, this is like your heart is burning with passion, burning with excitement, burning into your destined path for this new moon. Nice. Again, you got these two major arcanas technically with this card deck, and then that Wheel of Fortune for the month. For this new moon. So there's definitely a destiny point for the Aquarius babies. And last but never least, we've got the beautiful Pisces Moon babies. Let's see what we've got here. And for Pisces, this moon makes you feel very dreamy, with Jupiter being the old guard that ruled your sign. It just makes you feel very dreamy. I always feel like the planet Jupiter, that very dreamy energy. And with Capricorn, you just start feeling very practical. This is the Princess of Swords. So conquer things around you with kindness. You've got the world before you, right? So stay in the field of being kind, open-hearted, right? That's, stay in your dreamy field, but be practical, be in the world. And then we've got the King of Cups, also a very dreamy energy. So show people that you have the sword, but don't use it. Be kind. Show the world your love. Be open to the possibilities of experiencing new emotional waters. And there's something here for the Pisces moon babies that's going to activate within you this feeling of something emotionally profound. Again, because of this dolphin energy that I see here with the King of Cups. Lovely. Wow, really nice energy, guys, for this upcoming new moon. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoyed my little talk in the beginning. I'm putting this video out, and I may put another video out if I have time on the archetypes that are at play for 2025. The numerology, it's going to be a magazine that's also coming out. If I have time, I'll do a little quick video on that and a link, both on YouTube and to put on Instagram. And I'll also send an email probably promoting that. If I can get it out tonight, I will. If not, look out for that tomorrow. And make sure you're on my mailing list. I'll put a link in the description of this video for you guys to sign up to my mailing list. All right, I'll talk to you later. Hope you enjoyed it, and happy new moon. Remember, we are in this energy between the Jupiterian and the Saturnian field emotionally. Love you. Stay safe. Bye.